All right, so welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive with us.
Yeah.
And this one's pretty interesting. We're going to be talking about Eurovision.
Yeah. Always topical, right?
Yeah, always topical.
Yeah.
So much going on with it.
A lot of threads to pull here.
Yeah, and especially this year. I mean, every year's kind of crazy with Eurovision, but
yeah.
this year especially.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about Yuval Raphael.
Right.
She is Israel's representative
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
And obviously there's a ton of stuff going on with her story.
Yeah.
And she's going to be performing in Basel.
Correct.
And we're going to dive into that. So basically, like, what we're looking at here is her story, how her story kind of intersects with the whole Eurovision thing.
Yes.
And yeah, we're going to go deep.
So for folks who might not be like super familiar with Eurovision, just like a little background. Yeah. It's a huge like international songwriting competition. It's been around for, I think it's like
Decades.
Yeah, it's been around for decades. And it has this like insanely like devoted fan base.
Yeah, it's been around since the 50s.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if I've ever actually like sat down and watched a full
The whole thing.
Eurovision competition,
Yeah.
but I know people who have, and it is like next
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
Like they get,
It's like their Super Bowl.
yeah, it's like their Super Bowl, and it's like weeks of lead up
Yeah.
and like the voting and all that stuff.
Yeah, and it's not just like the music, right? It's
Well,
the spectacle.
that's-
It's the
yeah.
costumes.
It's
The
just-
soul.
Yeah, the crazy over the top stuff.
The whole thing.
So Yuval Raphael, the stuff that she has been through is just insane. And she
It's hard to even fathom.
I know, I read that she was like hiding under bodies for hours.
Yes. During the Hamas attack. Like at that music festival, the Nova Music Festival.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It was horrific. And
Yeah.
she was one of the, the people who survived that.
Yeah. And then after that, she wins like the Israeli version of, what is it?
Yeah, The Next Star.
The Next Star. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like their big competition show to pick
Oh,
their
wow.
representative for Eurovision.
She just goes and wins the whole thing.
And like, I can't even imagine like,
After all of that.
like after that experience, like to then put yourself out there
Yeah.
so publicly again.
Totally.
Talk about resilience.
It's just insane. And like, obviously, like, we all know with Eurovision, it's super political.
Not always.
And so she's already expecting to get booed when she's in Basel.
Well, yeah, she's kind of like
Yeah.
going into it with that expectation.
Yeah.
Look what happened to Eden Golan
Right. Yeah.
back in 2024.
Yeah, in Melbourne.
In Malmö. Like there was a lot of
Yeah.
negativity,
And she still got a pretty high ranking, right?
She did. It was
Wow.
it was kind of amazing, to see how she sort of transcended that.
Right. And how, like, you can't really
Right.
separate
Right.
politics
Yeah.
from Eurovision.
It's very much intertwined.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine being her, right, going through all of that and then
Yeah.
being like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to go on this massive international stage,
Right.
knowing
Right.
that a lot of people are probably going to boo you
Yeah.
just because of where you come from.
Yeah.
Like, what does that say about her?
It's
Yeah.
I think it speaks volumes
Yeah.
about her
Determination.
Yes, absolutely. Like her determination, her resilience.
And like her passion for music.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like she obviously loves what she does.
Yeah.
To go through all that and still be like, I want to share my music.
Yeah. And we're going to be finding out her song choice next month, right?
Yes. Yes. So that's going to be really interesting to see.
I know. What do you think she's going to do? What kind of...
I don't know. It's so hard to say.
Yeah.
Do you go for something really like uplifting and positive?
Yeah.
Do you go for something maybe a little more like introspective?
Yeah. That's a good point.
I don't know. I think it could go either way.
Yeah. We've seen both, right? At Eurovision.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's
Yeah.
been people who have used the platform to make like really strong political statements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've seen like calls for unity, even like protest songs, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really anyone's guess.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Basel's an interesting city to have it in too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's always been known for its like...
Yeah, it's like neutral ground.
neutrality, yeah.
Like historically, it's always been like a hub for diplomacy and like,
right.
trying to find common ground.
And it's like a banking center too, right?
Right, yeah. So, that adds another layer to it, I think.
Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think music can actually like transcend those political barriers?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
We see it sometimes, right? Where music really does
Yeah.
like touch people's hearts.
Yeah.
Regardless of their background. But then you have those other instances where it just seems to further highlight the differences.
Yeah, like it's almost like it depends on the listener.
Yeah, it does. And I think it depends on the artist.
Yeah.
And their intentions and how it's all received. You know, there's so many factors at play.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, can music create empathy?
Can it?
Like where words fail?
Right, yeah. Can it bridge that gap?
Yeah.
I think sometimes it can. But I think sometimes it's just going to be like you were saying with Eden Golan, it's just going to highlight that people are coming from very different places.
Yeah, and they're just not going to be able to see eye to eye.
Right.
And I think Yuval might run into that same thing, right?
I think it's possible.
Mm.
You know, it's hard to say.
Yeah. It's a really tough question.
It is.
I don't know if there's even an answer.
I don't know if there is either.
But it's definitely something to think about. Yeah, as we're like watching her journey unfold over the next month or so.
I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, this was
this has been a good one.
Yeah, this was a really fascinating deep dive, I think.
Absolutely.
I mean, we went from like personal tragedy to international competition.
Yeah, the whole spectrum.
Yeah, the whole spectrum. And like in between, we touched on like the whole cultural significance of Eurovision.
Yeah.
Like the history behind it, the politics.
Right.
The music, and then like, her story.
Yeah. At the heart of it all.
Which is just wild.
It is.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see what happens.
We'll see. Yeah. Let's see if music can be that bridge.
Right. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time for another deep dive.
Bye.